Hi parents and guardians, I'm Miss Silik. I just wanted to film you guys a little video as I apologize for not being able to be on live with you tonight on Zoom for open house. I have a personal conflict tonight, but I wanted just to introduce myself and kind of give you guys a face to the name, and for some of you maybe in a face to the voice that you hear sometimes coming from your kids' computer screen. So I'm really excited to have your kids this year in whatever capacity that looks like, whether it's virtual or hybrid or moving in person. The biggest thing I want you guys to know is that I'm here for your students. I'm here for you guys, and I want to make this, the best year possible. So I'm just going to walk through normally what I would do on an open house, tell you guys a little bit about myself, what to expect from the class, and kind of just some class norms and things in terms of my Schoology page, just to help you guys and help your students navigate through this year. If you guys ever need anything from me, please do not hesitate to reach out on Schoology or email. And then there's always that student support hour at the end of each day that you guys can utilize as well by appointment. So just let me know. So, all right, I'm going to turn it over to my presentation here, and then we'll kind of get started. All right, welcome to my presentation part of my video for you guys. Welcome. I'm, appreciate you guys tuning in and listening for a few minutes here. Just a little bit about myself. Like I said, I'm Miss Silik. I graduated from MSU with advertising and marketing degree. And after working for almost 4 years in that field, I realized that I missed my calling and that I was meant to be a teacher. So I came back to Michigan and went to Oakland University, where I got my master's degree in secondary education in both English and history. So that's why I'm split departments. I taught for a year at Bloomfield before coming to Troy, and now this is my 6th year here at Troy. I love working here. I love the kids. I love the families. I love my colleagues. But outside of work, I like to remind the kids that, I'm a person too. We are all persons, especially this year. I think it's very important that we all have that, grace and understanding towards each other. At the end of the day, whether, there's a computer screen splitting us apart, or a face shield or a mask, that we're all humans, and, we all have that understanding and empathy for each other. This is my family. I'm very close to my family. My weekends are very precious to me, and that's when I spend the most time with my family and my friends. I travel a lot, obviously not since March, but I do try to travel whenever I can. My fur child, Miss Jameson, and then I was telling the kids that these are my girlfriends I've had since I was a freshman in high school, and we are all still friends today, married with kids, and navigating through life. Here at Troy this year, I'm teaching 12th grade literature and 9th grade world history. Other than 9th grade world history, that is the only class I teach in the social studies department. In terms of the English department, I have taught 10th grade, I've taught 10 honors, I've taught 9 honors, 11th grade, and obviously now I've taught 12th grade for the last couple years. So very well versed in the English curriculum. I run our student government sophomore class. I'm the advisor for them. So normally our events would be Powder Puff and Mr. Troy High. For right now, those events are on hold until we kind of figure out what this year is going to look like. I'm also the Model UN advisor for both Troy High and Athens. So I have kind of a cool, unique collaboration with both of those teams in that sense. And then I also run our Colts Abroad Study Abroad program. Right now it's pending for this year until we see kind of what the year is going to look like. But should we ever get approval and things start looking better, I will share out any details on any future trips we're taking this year. So that is just a little bit about me. Now what I'm going to do is kind of shift into specifics about the class and kind of go over the nuts and bolts of it. All right. So welcome to the nuts and bolts part of the world history presentation. For this course, you can expect your kids to, we're starting right now with the Romans and we end with the French Revolution. So it's a pretty quick moving course, as we have a lot of time periods to cover, but I do so in a way that tries to keep the kids as engaged as possible in different avenues, whether it's, group projects and project-based learning, different activities and looking at primary sources. And the biggest thing I want them to is to examine basically a number of stories and perspectives and themes, and kind of identify those ideas that are continually forming and shaping our current view of the world, and asking, why is that important? What, lasting effects did that have on generations to come? what did something that happened in, the medieval times, how does that still shape and kind of affect our world today? And the biggest thing I tell the kids for history is you get out of this course as much as you put into it. As much effort and enthusiasm you're going to put into it is what you're going to get out of it in the end. So these are just some things students are going to learn kind of along the way and develop these skills. Obviously, these are kind of being restructured and thought about as we're looking at the course in terms of virtual and hybrid and in person, but looking at note taking. And right now I'm shifting my own perspective on that and my own philosophy of that and giving them more note guides and helping them process through reading and taking notes and knowing what's important and looking at primary sources, looking at reading comprehension, study skills. This is the first time in forever that if they're virtual, most tests and quizzes are going to have to be open note, as it's very hard to monitor that at home. So looking at different ways to assess their skills in other ways other than just tests and quizzes, whether they're partnered or, quick response questions or more project-based. So there's different ways to kind of view their skills this year and assess where they're at. Conducting research and looking at opinions and supporting it with evidence. We do quick little debates in class to give them those presentation speaking skills and always to view, the other side of the table and how do you then use that to strengthen your own argument so that they communicate both verbally but also, in writing and in their skills and in their knowledge. I've initiated journals this year. This is the first time I've done journals, but it's a new way for me to kind of gauge where they're thinking and see what they're thinking. Do they have anything that they are questioning or wondering? Is there a way to build that into what I'm teaching? So you'll see, 3, 4, 5 journals for an entire unit, more or less, as whether they enter class or exit class or different things in between, which allows them just to kind of view their thinking in a different format than they're probably used to for history. For this semester, for textbooks, this semester, all of our chapters for each of the course are organized on Schoology, and I'll show you that in just a second here. And for each folder, there'll be a PDF of that unit's chapter. So the students will always have access to them. It's built right into Schoology. They don't need to go to a separate website or log in or anything. It's right there for them, okay? Some of them did request a digital textbook, and those were distributed last week, and then a couple makeup ones were given out on Monday. If for some reason they end up changing their mind and they want one, we'll just have to coordinate the pickup through the front office, as students and parents are currently not allowed in the building, but we can definitely coordinate that and figure that out if that's something that you guys end up wanting. So I'll show you guys Schoology here in a minute, but my biggest thing at the end of the day is to support your kids the best way possible and give them all of the resources that they need to stay organized and to be successful. So I have my Google Slide agendas for every day of class. I have an agenda of what we did. It's great for you guys to know what's going on in the classroom, but it's also a great way for the kids to stay on top of things when they're absent or they miss class. All assignments are digital in terms of, resource and materials and handouts, but all through submission right now. Same with when we move to a hybrid method, everything will be submitted digitally. I try to keep grades as accurate as possible in terms of, how quickly I'm getting them back to the students. And then same with the calendar. I try to put on as many future assignments as I can so kids can kind of plan and know when big things are coming up or, open note quizzes or projects due. But should you guys ever need anything, you can always message me on Schoology. Always welcome to shoot me an email. There's that student support hour as well that you can request by appointment. So just a couple things to point out on our Schoology page here. This is what the students page would look like. So anything upcoming will kind of show up here. As you can see, they'll definitely have some notes due this week. And then we have an open note quiz next week, which I'll talk about with the kids tomorrow. Here's their Zoom link, and then the student support link. Those are those Google Slides I mentioned, course resources, course syllabus. And then a unit would look like this. So right now we're in the Rome unit. So everything is in here organized in order. So here's their digital book. Here's my lecture slides, which they kind of listen to, and their guided notes they follow along with, which are right there for them in a bunch of different formats, whatever they need. I try to allow for them. And then everything kind of walks through submission wise in terms of when we go through them as a class, just to kind of keep them organized. So other than that, that is all I really have for you guys today. Hopefully that was helpful. If you guys need anything, please do not hesitate to reach out at all. And have a wonderful rest of your night. And I'm looking forward to a wonderful semester with your students.